What's up, everyone? I'm out here today at the local park right around sunrise time. You know, I'm about to take off here in a few minutes. I've been on a few flights since I got the Mac Flymobile right here, and I've tried to record most of them, and there's been issues. You know, it's like the first time I messed up my GoPro settings, so it was all overexposed. Another time, you know, I've just never used GoPros before, so now I got it all figured out. Today should be all right. You know, I think I got this part down. I think I got like the actual camera part down. It's the GoPros tripping me up. I actually ordered the DJI Osmo Action 5 because I can't stand how I can do a 45-minute flight and my GoPro battery's dead. I mean, that's just not acceptable, dude. Come on. But for right now, I guess it's gonna have to work.
It's always crazy to me how you can still see the moon. Like it's, I don't know, 8 in the morning, and the moon's still there. And the sun and the moon. I wonder if that's a thing that changes based on like your latitude or longitude or whatever. Like the closer you get to Alaska, can you see both at once? And then the closer you get to the equator, can you only see one at a time? I don't know why I never thought about that. So this giant, hideous building over here is something us locals do not like at all. So this all used to be farmland, and out of nowhere, some company just came in and built this ginormous warehouse. We think they thought that Amazon might want to use it, but they already have one around here. But basically they built this like, I don't know, 1 million square foot warehouse with nobody to rent it out. So it's just sitting there empty. And, you know, looking around, it's mostly, you know, trees and farmland and stuff. But that frickin' hideous, ginormous building just ruins it. But hey, that's just me being a salty local. Never explored over here. Nice sand and gravel pit area. I'm sure one day I'll be diving around there doing cool stuff, but not right now. Yo, there's an old train caboose over here. That's pretty cool. I never knew that. The crazy thing to me is that I've lived in this area my entire life. All of my 22 years have been spent right here. All of this was within like 1 to 5 miles of my house. We actually flew over my house not long ago, but so much of this you just cannot see from the roads, at least the roads I'm on all the time. So like, look at that cool rolling fields. I don't know what to call it. It's like a farm field, but it's rolling hills, and it looks so cool. And there's so much stuff that I've just never seen before. It's gonna take a while for it to get old flying around here. So that was my grandma. Just got off the phone with my grandma. That was pretty cool. I was kind of flying over her house So I gave her a call, and she hasn't seen me fly this thing and doesn't really know much about it. So I just called her, say, hey, what's up? Go outside, look up, you know. Flew over. She's like, oh my gosh, that was pretty cool. Her and my uncle, they live together, so glad they got some enjoyment out of that. I did too. Figure I'll get up here and play around with tip steer a little bit. I've flown with tip steer once. I flew Trevor Steele's Ozone Kona with his game changer toggles tied in with tip steer when I was out doing training with him. But I haven't tied mine in yet. I do have my game changer toggles on. I'll tell you more about those in a bit. But for now, I'm just grabbing my tip steer toggles and my brake toggles at the same time. So both are routed through the pulleys. And just getting used to how it responds when you pull both of them. It's like power steering. I was a little resistant to tie in because it's kind of permanent. You know, once you're in the air, you can't change it. If you're uncomfortable with it, you can't go back to just brakes, you know? So, I watched this one video on it, and some people say, oh, just do it, you know, it's fine. And then this other video said, you want to have so many hours under your belt first because you want to know what you're doing. But I'm like, on my 15th probably flight, I flew a tip steer and I loved it. I literally came down and told Trevor, I was like, as soon as I get home, I'm tying my tip steer because that was amazing. So much more responsive. But at the same time, a pilot of my ability level, with my number of flights and my number of hours, you know, I gotta have some respect for that. So I'm not gonna try doing crazy stuff. I'm gonna start small and really learn it. I just hate how much gosh darn brake I have to pull when I don't have tip steer, because even though I shorten my brake toggles, my brake lines just a little bit when I put these toggles on, probably about 2.5 inches, and it has about 4 inches of dead zone before it engages, which is about right. And even with that, it's still just, you know, I have to yank those things to get it to turn at all. Even with weight shift, it's like, come on, dude. So, came up here to 2,000 feet just to play around a little bit, get used to the added sensitivity. Back to these game changer toggles. If you don't know, this is a game changer toggle. Hopefully you can see that. It's something that Trevor Steele came up with. I think this is the second iteration of it. And basically, it allows you to tie your tip steer in a little bit separately and have two different places to hold it. So it's a lot easier to target just your tip steer without having to reach for your tip steer lines. It's also smaller, since we really just fly with 2 fingers through the toggle anyways. So with the factory toggles, they're so big, and they're kind of like this foam material. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of stretchy a little bit. So between that and the fact that they're a lot longer, so you're actually engaging your brakes at a lower hand position, they just feel squishy and more like a boat. Whereas these are completely rigid, and I have a better feel with the wing. I like them. I don't know if everyone would. I'll let you know how it goes with tip steer tied in when I do that. So I guess a little bit of story on my paramotor adventures, a little backstory, would be that probably 7-8 years ago, I was like a freshman in high school or something, and I saw Tucker Gott's McDonald's video. I know, the infamous, everyone in the paramotor community knows it. Love it or hate it, it is what it is, say what you'll say. But whatever the case, I started watching his channel a lot, and at the beginning I was like, hell no, I'd never do that, but it's cool to watch, because I've always been afraid of heights. And after a few years I was like, you know, maybe I could do that, but I'm still afraid of heights. So I started small. I started going to to Cedar Point and riding roller coasters, getting used to being thrown around a bit, a little bit of heights. And then I was on vacation with my now ex-girlfriend, and she wanted to go ziplining, and I was like, hell no. And then I went ziplining, and that was pretty cool. And I loved it. It was really cool. Like, yeah, it was a little sketchy, a little nerve-wracking for me, but I got through it. And then I figured, well, that's still not exactly like paramotoring. So I went up to Put-in-Bay, which, if you don't know, that's an island in Lake Erie. And I went parasailing behind a boat, you know, where you get towed up to like 300 feet. And that was pretty cool. After that, I was on this vacation, this solo vacation. I mean, it was really just a road trip to clear my head because, you know, that aforementioned ex-girlfriend kind of ripped a little hole that I was trying to fill with adventure. So I ended up going on a road trip through New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, a little bit of PA, Massachusetts, like all up there, New England. And one Sunday, I just woke up. I was like, hey, I want to go skydiving today. So I looked up, quick Google search, find a place, and there ended up being a place like an hour or two away, so I drove there, and I jumped. And it was awesome. I loved it. The scariest part was the plane ride up. The rest of it was just fun. And then I've actually skydived twice, but I'll save that story for another day. And then I was planning a road trip out to Utah because I've been wanting to take a cross-country road trip for years. I've never really been out west. I wanted to see it, so. But I have some family out in Salt Lake City. So I figured, you know, I'll make a big loop, hit all the big national parks, as many as I can, stay with them for a little bit, and then come home. Well, the window of time I was looking at having for that trip, I just had this thought. I was like, what if I did paramotor training out there? And I looked, and there was this place called Backcountry PPG. And I looked into it. The website was very well done, lots of information. So I figured, hey, why not? I'll see what's up. So I contacted Trevor, and he's a very great guy to deal with. He's available more often than not. He'll answer any question you have, even if it's stupid. And he won't call it stupid, but you'll know it's stupid. And he's very good at breaking things down for a beginner. Now, me, I have this tendency to overanalyze and really research things before I get into it. So I didn't have too many questions. Not that I know everything, but like I've watched hundreds of hours of videos, read through the entire PPG manual. Anyways, I held off for a little bit because it's a big, expensive decision. And I was like, I want to take my time to make this, secure financing, you know, get the money together. And I ended up doing that, giving Trevor the call, saying, let's do it. And there I went. So on that road trip, I actually went the northernmost route. I went through South Dakota. I hit Badlands National Park. I hit Mount Rushmore, and then I went to Wyoming, hit Yellowstone and Grand Teton, a little bit of Wind River, and Idaho a little bit, into Salt Lake City. And then when I was out there, I went right into paramotor training. And, you know, it was a small class. It was just me and Trevor and this other kid, Taylor. Both really cool guys. We got along really well. So at the end of the class, we kind of had this bonus 11th day where we flew down to Hanksville, Utah. Well, we didn't fly down there. We drove to Hanksville, Utah, and flew Factory Butte, which is this natural formation out in the desert. where there used to be a running river or something, and it looks really cool. And it's just like this big plateau looking thing, kinda, I don't know. Look it up. But that was really cool. That was my 21st flight, I think. Yeah, that was my 21st flight, hour and a half long, cross country with Trevor. He actually made a video about it. Maybe I'll link to that for you guys. Hi, dude, in a little, I don't know, excavator thing. It's pretty cool if you ask me. He's probably like, what is this crazy dude doing? It's weirdly humid. It's like I can feel the moisture on my skin. Haven't quite experienced that yet. It might be because they were spraying this road with water. I don't know. There's a lot of corn around here. I know corn is very unforgiving to paramotor pilots when they try to foot drag it. So I'll keep a nice little respectable distance. But this is pretty cool. Just flying around these fields. Yeah, buddy.
All right, everyone. Well, I just landed. Stupid GoPro. GoPro battery life absolutely sucks. I was up for about an hour and 15. Why are you beeping at me? What are you doing? I don't know what it's doing. Stop doing that, please. I was flying for like an hour and 15 minutes. Apparently my GoPro shut off right at the hour mark. So my landing and stuff didn't make it into the final cut. Hope you guys enjoyed flying with me today. It was a beautiful morning for flying. I did have to wait a little bit because there was some fog. There wasn't when I got here, and then as I was setting up, there was some fog that I couldn't see far enough to be safe. So I had to wait that out a little bit, but once I got up there, I mean, the air is butter today. See you guys in the next one. Peace.